The CZ 805 Bren, let's check it out. The CZ75 is legendary. In fact, one time it was the most used sidearm for militaries in the world. And these were designed, of course, in 1975, mainly attached to the Communist bloc or Eastern Bloc countries. And because of that, it's also one of the most copied designs of the world, because Czech did not make a patent or didn't produce a patent for this design. Since that time, this gun is legendary, and CZ has been in business since 1936, so there's a lot of firearms that they were making already for Czechoslovakia and then for the Czech Republic. But today we're going to look at something that is currently being used by the Czech military, and this is the 805 Bren. It replaced the VZ58, which is an excellent AK type variant, but this is really more in line with the NATO allies that the Czech Republic now have. This is in 5.56. It uses standard AR-15 M16 magazines. This is a piston driven rifle. I mean, this is state of the art. Of course, first thing we're going to do is remove the magazine, make sure the gun is empty and the gun is unloaded. Now, the CZ805 Bren was adopted by the Czech Republic in 2006, and since that time it served in Afghanistan. It's also served with Mexican interdiction forces down in Mexico. So there is a proven combat record with these rifles. It is in 5.56, which really aligns itself with its NATO allies. 16.2 inch barrel. The upper receiver is forged aluminum, and then we have a really high impact polymer, reinforced polymer lower receiver. It is a piston driven system, and of course this version here is semi-automatic. Originally we were getting the CZ805 Bren pistols, and in fact I did a full review on that. An excellent firearm, perfect choice for SBR. One of the really great things about this rifle too is how smooth the action is. I don't know that I've ever dealt with a rifle that is that kind of an action. It shoots that way too. This is a really incredible, fun shooting rifle. And because of the muzzle brake and the slickness of the action, the recoil is almost nil. I mean, it just stays really flat. The safety is a short throw safety. It's really easy to get to once you have a grip on the rifle. And then you have your magazine release here. Just press and pull out. And then you have a bolt hold open. The bolt hold open feature really is, it just holds it open. Once you get it here, press down, it locks it into place. But it's not a bolt release. To release the bolt, you have to pull the charging handle back and release. And all these features are the same on the other side except for the bolt hold open. You have your safety and your mag release right here. Now the bolt is reciprocating with this charging handle, so every time the round is fired it's going to move just like this. That can be an issue if you like to ride your hand back here. In fact, I've done that with the pistol and caught my thumb. But this can also be switched to the other side. In fact, I'll even demonstrate that when we break the rifle down. The barrel is a 16.2 inch barrel. It's 1 in 7 twist. The muzzle brake can accept any of your 1/2 x 28 right hand threads. The original pistol, it was a left hand thread, and it was proprietary to the CZ. So this really gives you a lot of options. But one thing I will say is that this muzzle brake is really effective. The barrel is 1 in 7 twist. Again, it is cold hammer forged stainless steel. It is chrome lined, so it's going to even give it more life to the rifling. There's just a lot of great features about the barrel. And it is a really thin pencil barrel though, which is kind of unique. The gas system here at the front has a small little detent, and you can change this from standard to heavy duty. Heavy duty is really if you're shooting a whole lot, especially if you're shooting full automatic. This little detent can be pressed down, and then you can actually adjust the block to the next position, and it'll lock into that position just like this. It's recommended though to leave it in the standard position because it will wear and tear on your rifle with the heavy duty gas setting. If you want to take this all the way off, just depress and begin to turn, and it'll pop right out. This makes it really easy to clean. There's a cap here, and then you have the piston that just comes right out. This is captivated, has a spring, and it is stainless steel, as you can see. Now this has been shot quite a bit, so we're going to be cleaning that a little bit later. But it's really simple to pull this in and out. And then just replace your piston. Now there is a small hole that the end of the piston goes in, so you just need to fish it into that hole. You can actually see it in the light. And here we go, and then we're going to put the cap back on. Using the flat side, we go right over and just start to turn it. It will depress the detent, and you'll want to get it into the second position, and it locks right into place. There's also a bayonet lug right here, which I thought was a nice touch. It also has Picatinny rail at the bottom where you can put lights or a foregrip. And then it has these panels right here, and the panels can be replaced with Picatinny rail, but it's smooth really to add for comfort. It does have a lot of air that can flow through here, but it can get kind of warm, but it doesn't get too uncomfortable to hold. The grip itself is actually built in right here, and you can't change this out with aftermarket AR grips. But one of the cool things, this is going to be able to be adaptable to different sizes of your back strap. They didn't offer it when this first came out. These have just gotten started into the country, and so they're going to be offering obviously some other options here. It does have the folding stock, the buttons right here. You can bring it around, lock it here, and it doesn't actually attach or lock into place. It's just spring fit here, so you can just bring it right back out. It is a fully adjustable, which you can just bring the lever back and adjust this into 4 different positions. There is a cheek riser here, and this can be removed if you want it, but it's really great once you put an optic on here. One thing I really like about the adjustments on the stock is you can push this lever, or you can pull down and adjust it that way. So it gives you kind of a little more options with this. This is a proprietary stock for the rifle. This will not accept one of the A2 buffer tubes, so you can't really replace it with a lot of the AR-15 aftermarket stocks. But it's a really well-made stock in itself. And it does have a really nice ribbed rubber butt pad. The magazine well is beveled, which makes it really easy to insert magazines. It has a protected front sight with a post that is fully adjustable for elevation. And the rear sight is adjustable for windage, and it does have apertures, one for target and one for combat. These do flip down just to tuck out of the way. This is really made for optics. It has sling attachments on either side here at the rear, and then also at the front. So this rifle is really pretty much ambidextrous. The rifle weighs just under 8.5 pounds with the magazine, no optic. With the rifle fully extended, it's about 36¼ inch. With the buttstock folded up, it's 28.5 inches. Disassembly the rifle, we're going to remove the magazine. Go ahead and double check, make sure the gun is unloaded. There are 2 pins that hold the lower receiver here and right here. If you'll notice right here, there's a little spring that just holds that into place. You push that spring and then the pin comes right out and then pulls from the other side. Same thing with the front pin. Once those pins are removed, you can just bring out the front first and then bring the lower out. Right here there's a little ledge that locks in. Right at the rear there's a small little button. You push this in and then you can just relieve your stock and bring it out. Now we can remove our recoil spring. Then we'll want to pull our charging handle out once it gets into this circular cut here. and now the bolt will come right out. You have a nice beefy hammer with spring. You don't want to let this go forward without, just keep your thumb pressure on here. But you can see the mechanism inside. It is very robust. And now you have the rifle completely field stripped. You can take the bolt down. In fact, I've even got a video about how to do that. You drive this pin out and the firing pin will come out and the bolt will come out. It's pretty simple, but it's not required for your basic field maintenance. Reassembly in reverse order, but make sure that your bolt is fully extended. Let it ride until you see this hole right here appear. And that is for your charging handle. Now, one of the things about this, you can put it on either side. You can put it on the left or right side. We're going to go ahead and just put it on the other side. And that way it's going to reciprocate on this side. Let it go forward. Recoil spring is next. Now we're going to take our buttstock, pressing in right here with the end of your cap for your recoil spring. Once you get it started, you can just push it up into place and this will snap. Next, we're going to take our little receiver and set it first from behind and then bring it up. And we're going to reattach our pins. And they'll slide right in, and then the springs will catch to keep them in place. Now we're going to check to make sure the gun is functioning, and it is. If I don't like it on this side, I'll just switch it out. But for AK guys especially, this is natural. If you want to go to the other side, that's fine too. Also included is the owner's manual, a bore snake, and also a really neat field maintenance kit. This kit is pretty inclusive, even with patches, cleaning rod, brushes, even specialized tools for the maintenance of your rifle. Of course, the Picatinny rail allows for mounting options. Here I have an American Defense quick detach, and I have a Vortex Viper 1:4, which is an incredible scope. And this sets up very well. Of course, you can put any kind of optic really that you want on here. Or you can put lights and lasers on the front Picatinny rail. Just gives you a lot of options. There's a lot of real estate right here on top of the rifle. As far as accuracy goes, with the Vortex Viper, I was shooting my first group at 100 yards right here. Then I brought it down right here, and then kind of evened it out, bringing it right here. Just did some shooting. I didn't do a whole lot of bench shooting, but just to get a good feel for it. But the accuracy is there. Even with a pistol, I was getting really good accuracy. And I was using just the HPR 155 grain full metal jacket. So I know they do some VMAX that really helps get the accuracy down. The trigger pull on this is really nice. Some take up, it comes to a wall, and then a nice little snap. Got a wall, a little bit, just a teeny bit of creep, but it stops dead when it gets there. Reset, not too bad either. Really, the trigger pull is really nice for this type of rifle. As far as trigger pull, 4 pounds 15 ounces, so just under the 5 pound mark, and it's a really nice trigger. Now the 805 is a commercial rifle, but it's very closely related to the military version. Of course, it's not the select fire, and they've made it to where it's impossible for the two to work together, but and for this to be fully automatic. But this does have all the same properties and the quality that goes in to their military counterpart. What's really funny is that the 805 has just started coming into the country, but now the Czech military has just adopted the 806, which is actually a little bit lighter. It has a little bit more improved ergonomics. The stock's a little different, and it's a little bit easier to clean, and the cocking lever is a little bit different. So that is now going to be the current model, but of course the 805 will still be in service for a long time to come. One of the reasons that this was allowed to come into the country is because they were able to put on the 922R compliant parts to be able to import this. One of the things about the magazines in the original 805, they are translucent, and this is of course a steel magazine, and these though work just fine. But on the military model, it also has a paddle magazine release, more in line with your Kalashnikov type rifles. Now these have just started coming into the country, so prices probably at first are going to they're going to stabilize a little bit once these really get out into the market. The retail price on this is $1,999. They do make a FDE version that's Cerakoted, and it runs a little bit more. But I think that this should run around the $1,650 range once you get it out to your dealers. Now, this is very closely related to the FN SCAR as far as the way it looks, the way it functions. In fact, there's a lot of similarities. One of the things, though, about the SCAR is that it runs about $2,500. So you're getting a better price for a rifle that's very similar with the same. And the great thing about it is CZ quality speaks for itself.
That trigger in here, just press on that with a screwdriver, it pops out. It's just such a simple little rifle.
That feels good.
It does feel good.
Damn. Got a good weight to it. It doesn't, I thought it was going to have more of a recoil, but it's actually pretty good.
It's really smooth. The Bren 805 pistol was excellent, but the Bren 805 rifle, thumbs way up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Right here is a small button. Just press. Right here is your takedown button for your stock. Just push in, dadgummit. Like that. The Bren pistol was excellent. The Bren 805 rifle, you can use it for sticking it up your butt or whatever you want to do.